Hey, everybody, this is Micah Lieberman once again coming to you from Scope. Just got back from Scope Europe, by the way, Nasha. It was really fun. So tired but happy. That was really great in Barcelona. So Scope in Europe, Scope in the US, now Scope X in Boston, also Clinico, Scope 365, all of this stuff. So I'm Micah. I did a discussion and one of these fun Voices of Scope interviews with Nasha Fitter, who's on the phone. I will link to our discussion a few weeks ago. In that discussion, Nasha, who is CEO and co-founder of the Fox G1 Research Foundation, we talked about the origin story of that. She's also the chief business officer and co-founder of Citizen Health. So in the last interview, we talked about patient power and more than 80 advocacy groups being in Citizen Health, kind of doing smarter trials. How can all of these people cooperate and do that better? We had a great discussion, but we didn't get to a big point. So welcome back, Nasha. Hi.
Thank you. Love talking to you.
I know this is fun. Thank you. What we didn't get to, two big things, because we got to get to them. And I know you are traveling now. Let's talk about patient data. So before we get into it, there's a lot of people who watch this that are pharma. They're inside of running trials. They sponsor trials and they get it. But there's also advocacy groups, caregivers that are becoming advocates, similar to your journey, and they come to Scope and they start getting educated and they become empowered. And we talk a lot about them. But let's start there before we get into the other stuff. What is patient data? Where does it live? What happens to it?
All right.
In the context of research.
Exactly. So patient data is every time you go to the doctors, there is data that is created about the patient. This is stored within the medical record, and this is very siloed in the United States. You have Epic is a big one, but there's other ways that data is stored. You have access to that data as a patient through MyChart. Now, one of the things is that all the MyCharts don't connect. So if you're a patient that moves around, sees specialists, et cetera, you're going to have multiple MyChart accounts. The second thing is all your data is actually not in MyChart. And a lot of the really deep data, so for example, if you've had an MRI, an EKG, all of that is not going to be in MyChart. You have to request that data. You have to request things like clinic notes. And that's quite an arduous process, actually. It's not so easy to request this information as a patient.
I've just recently done it, not for anything serious, but it was very difficult. Yes.
Very difficult. And so, that is the state today. And that data, health institutions have that data and they use it for research. They do their own research and they also sell that data every single day. Every single day, your data is sold. It's de-identified, of course, but it is sold.
Okay. So some of this I may not care about, right? I go to the doctor, right?
Yep.
But your story, having a loved one with rare disease and all of a sudden realizing this data is crucial. If all of us in this certain community suffering from a specific condition, especially a rare disease condition where the population is not so enormous and they're very connected, this data is invaluable. It could empower us to actually achieve something, right? Which is a lot of what you're doing at Fox G1 and Citizen Health. Two questions. Does that data live on? And then I think that's a smaller question because I know the answer to that. But then the bigger question I want to get to is payments. This goes beyond research, of course. This discussion is happening in the world of retail and everything because all of us are living online. So question one, what happens to this patient data ultimately? Does it live? Does it die? Where does it go? But more importantly, let's go deeper into what you and I didn't get to last time, which is a bigger discussion around patient payments and should they be paid?
Yep. Okay. Let's just go really quickly. All right. Number one, health institutions will throw your data away after a certain number of years. I don't know if everyone knows this. I sure did not know this before I got into this space. So you got to collect your data. Okay. That's number one. Number two, and even if you're healthy, you don't know what's going to happen in 10 years. Those records are invaluable. So that's number one. Number two, yes, your data has value. It is sold every single day and someone else is benefiting from that sale. So at Citizen, this was kind of core to our ethos. We work for the patient, and we really felt that if your data is licensed, patients should get part of that payment. It
Aha.
is crucial because we have huge medical bills, right? So if someone else is benefiting from that sale, patients should benefit from that sale. And so that is our how we have broken down our revenue model. And we share not only with patients but also with advocacy groups. We're big believers in that. So that is so critical. And I think that is the way it's kind of the commercialization of healthcare. Patients need to start taking back some of the reins, right? Right now, patients don't really have ownership of anything, right? Everything's kind of out of our hands. We're the last people anyone thinks about. It's about pharma, it's about insurance, it's all commercialized. We need to take hold of our own data and get that value.
Do you think, I think I know the answer to this because you and I talked about it. In your experience, you said you didn't know, number one, that data just kind of dissipated and disappeared.
Yeah.
Number
Yeah.
one. Um, in the rare disease community where you have, whether it's Fox G1 or others,
Yep.
where
Yep.
these people are very engaged.
Yep.
In your experience, do they realize that data does die? It goes
No,
away
no, people do not realize that. They don't
Mhm.
realize that your data
in
is
general.
literally thrown away after about 7 to 10 years, depending on the institution. So it could be there's actually institutions we've contacted that after 5 years, they've gotten rid of the data. So no, I don't think most people realize this.
Yeah. Um, I remember when, value-based care, Obamacare first started happening, and the idea was, kind of let's get everything digitized. I was excited because, I'm a person like everybody else who shops online, uses
Yeah.
email, my music's
Yep.
organized. I'm sad to say I got rid of all my vinyl, which was a mistake. But at the time, it was like, I'm like, ha ha,
Yeah.
look at this. I am disappointed as a dad with kids, wife, just walking through the healthcare system that we are this far in, and
Yep.
I still don't feel that I have a universal record that follows me, that I
Mm,
can give somebody
exactly.
a key and I could just like I do it with when you borrow money for a loan. I have this
Yep.
information and I'm like, oh, Dr. So and so, why don't you look at this record? That record has followed me for a long time. I am filling out that information over and over
Yep.
and they don't talk. So that's just in general. I don't even have a serious issue where I need my data and I need it to follow me through different sites or different. So this still kind of blows my mind that after
It is
meaningful
so
use one,
frustrating.
meaningful use two, we're still here.
Yep.
Now, if you're a caregiver or if you're an advocate for your loved one, for yourself, for a parent, you know that once you've gotten into a system and you're aggressive and you know how to navigate it, you'll figure it out. But it takes experience. It
Yep.
takes a lot of work. And again, using a
Yep.
mortgage, like if you're a person and you've never bought a house going in to get a loan, oh my God, it's a nightmare. Once you've gone through it, you get
Yep.
better at it. And then you could help your brother, you could help your sister. This is
Yep.
the same thing. So so I think the value is there, understanding it, but also I don't think you can't completely change the system. So as part of this also, like I just used the analogy of helping your friends or your sisters or brothers navigate the mortgage process, is this the same thing where you gather more and more advocacy groups? I think you guys have more than 80 advocacy
Yeah.
groups,
Yep.
and they all teach each other how
Exactly.
to navigate,
Exactly.
how to retrieve, how to store. Okay.
This is you've hit this is probably the biggest nugget. So I think your data has value. Getting paid is just one component. The
Yes.
even larger component is we can learn a lot from each other's health journeys. But the only way we can do that, to your point, our institutions are not going to do that for us. We have to
Right.
gather in one place and come together, put all our information in one place so we can start really learning from each other. Now, we see this to some extent on Facebook, right? We have Facebook communities. Most
Yeah.
disease groups have a community, and it's not even for severe rare diseases. I, for example, have restless leg syndrome, right? It's a chronic very annoying condition. I'm in like 16 different Facebook groups and we're all trying to, it's like the blind leading the blind, right?
Right.
They're trying to help each other. It's not systematic. It's really not that effective. But imagine if we could put all of our medical records on one place that is really owned by patients and we can start learning from each other. We have really sophisticated technology now. We have AI now. We can actually start learning from the experiences of others. And it's not so much, healthcare is not democratized in the United States. If you are seeing a certain type of doctor, you are going to have a much different outcome than someone else who's seeing a different type of doctor. That is just the way it is. So we have to learn from each other. I don't see any other way for us to kind of have better health.
And one of your key points from our last interview to those advocacy groups, disease communities, was don't reinvent the wheel, man. This is
Yep.
hard.
Yep. It's
Just
very hard.
ju- jump on the wagon. Jump on the wagon. Partner with your friends. Partner with CROs for development.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, this is good. So this we didn't cover last time. So I think this is important. I went on a tangent about my own frustrations with EMRs, but I see this huge opportunity. And again, I've been through the healthcare system when I've lived elsewhere where there was a centralized healthcare system. And it was a beautiful thing, man. It was a beautiful thing. So I think with this data, we have two incentives. One, as a society, wouldn't it be nice to kind of aggregate this stuff, have insights into it to better understand? Number two is who owns it, and whoever owns it, if it has value, can they be incented? And that's not a bad thing. It's not a zero-sum game. There are these communities want to partner with industry, and industry wants to partner with them to come up with new medicines. Right on. All right.
I think industry is excited by this because I think
Me
industry
too.
also gets frustrated by the silos of our healthcare system, right?
Agreed.
Industry just wants to create better drugs. That's exactly what patients want too. We're actually, pretty on the same page there.
Yeah. All right. Nasha, good hanging out with you. So everybody,
Likewise.
Nasha Fitter, Citizen Health, Fox G1. See you at Scope in February.
Absolutely.
And thanks for hanging out.
Thank you.